Hello, everyone. It's a very special show. I got an awesome author, entrepreneur, and obviously she's a mother. She authored a best-selling book. It's called "I Survive, You Can Too" from North Carolina. Hey, Ruth Proctor, how's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's not every day I interview an author. I interviewed a few authors in my past shows, but this your background leading up to writing this book. Where'd you get the title from?
I just, I think it was more so like just thinking about all the things I overcame. And once I really like put it together, it was just like, it wasn't even no other title. That's the crazy part. It was just like, you know what? I survived, you can too. And I didn't come up with like a backup or nothing. It just came to me.
Well, you know what? There's so much hope now that people are looking for hope. There's people who are looking for that the extra energy to get over the cliff and make things happen
Right.
for themselves, or whether it's an entrepreneur, a single mother.
Mhm.
You were placed in foster care at the age of 6.
Yeah.
Um, you met your parents, right?
Yes, I was actually with my parents
Okay.
and I was taken from my parents at 6. Well, from my mom at 6.
Did you ever reconnect with them at all, or?
Yes, I'm actually the caregiver for my mom now. My father lives in the same town as me, but we really don't have a relationship.
Okay. I mean, like, coming from someone who has a very close family, I don't think I can go without my parents.
Mhm.
I learned that in the last few years.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, when you become a teenager, you become ruthless and obnoxious, and you want to push everybody away and do your own thing. But
Right, right.
you start to really realize who matters to you.
It's true.
And I see my parents a lot more now that I
Um,
have my own family, than I have ever had wanted to, right? I actually
right,
want to see them, right? And it's a
right.
great feeling. Um,
Good.
but being put in foster care at the age of 6, whether it's being put in foster care or becoming a single mother, or being that child whose parents divorced, and
Right,
the one parent is really grilling the one
right,
child, or grilling you,
right.
it really forces you to grow up if you're a 6-year-old, right? I mean,
Oh yeah. Oh
um,
yeah.
how was do you remember your first day, walking into that home, and, could you describe that?
Yes. The first day, is really weird because we were moved around a lot, and most foster kids are moved around a lot. I think people think that you place in this home and that's where you are and you're good. But you really have to find that match. And the state has to find that match for you. And the family has to want to, accept you and adopt you if you end up staying there. And most people are temporary foster parents. So I was first with a lady, and she had 2 daughters, and we were there for like 3 weeks, me and my brother. My brother was a newborn baby. And was there for 3 weeks, loving home, great. Then the next home was the home where it had pretty much about 10 kids. It was a big home. I want to say it reminds you of the old plantation homes, the big, 2-story home. And I remember walking there like, all these kids. I mean, it was a lot of kids. And I just was like nervous. So I learned quickly, that the farm across the street, I was going to have to be picking, corn and peas, and I was going to have to be popping corn and I mean popping peas, and it was a rude awakening really quick. So I would definitely say, I had to get adjusted to my environment, and I always was on guard, as preparing for something to happen because I was never prepared. I always wanted to be prepared, but I couldn't be. So I was always just, ready, watchful.
I've had a few people in, my class growing up as a child that
Mhm.
were in foster care, and, I fully don't understand, like, the background and what happened
Right,
in their lives, but they
right.
just something, just doesn't they're different, right? They're
Right.
really affected,
Yes,
mentally,
yes. Emotionally,
it's
physically.
devastating. Uh,
Yes,
it brings a lot of, you know, uh, I'm really grateful for my parents being together
yes,
and doing a good job, because there's sometimes it just happens that, you get separated from your parents,
right.
especially now, where, the rules aren't really the rules anymore. You can
Right,
go
right,
against them, and
right. Exactly,
uh,
exactly.
you were there. There were so many devastating events in your life,
Mhm.
domestic violence, infidelity, that being with a partner, right?
Yep.
Um, you develop tenacity, perseverance, and obviously you've come far. So, being an entrepreneur and a mother, um, and I'm just saying this from the bottom of my heart. It's really inspiring to see someone be successful and write a book
Mhm.
and venture out and grab the world by the bull horns and,
Yeah.
and pull it towards them because uh, just today, obviously we between between you and I, we had to push off the interview for another 15 minutes so I could make it here. And I was talking with someone before this, and I'm taking care of my son. It's like, how they're like, how do you do it? And it's like,
Right.
well, I'm not a single parent, which is great. Otherwise, like, it could be absolutely a massive train wreck,
Yeah.
especially if you're trying to pursue something
Yes.
um, like you have, right?
Right.
Because you're tired at the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
Where do you get a chance to write? Where did you start writing this? Like, how'd you find the time? First off,
Yes. I would definitely say, I had to find my place. And for me, it was more so journaling. I've been journaling for years. I had a girlfriend give me a journal over 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And I began to, formulate the journals and that's how I came up with the book. And so I pretty much took the journals and put that into the book. And then I just started writing from there. And, over the past 2 years, I've been able to finally, get it done in December of 2020, but it took a lot of time, energy. I had days where I did not want to write. And for me, I'm writing about something that happened to me. So I had days where I was like, I'm not writing today. I'm not writing today. I'm going to give myself a second. And I had days where I'm typing and I was crying, or I was writing and I was crying because I was like, wow, like I really went through this, or I didn't realize how this impacted me. And I'm able to look back at things that I wrote previous, 10 years ago. And I'm like, wow, this is why I act like that. Or this is why I do this. So it really was almost like it was therapy really in itself for me writing it, good and bad. So that's definitely how I started.
we talk about being a child and journaling and
Mhm.
writing a diary. Uh,
Right.
and that's the main reason why people really encourage that because it helps you get
Right.
the emotions out and sometimes
Exactly.
helps the parents kind of peek at what you're
Mhm.
feeling, right?
Right.
And you can adjust. But yeah, like there's so many pent up emotions.
Yes.
Actually
Yes.
writing the book yourself and not having somebody write it on Fiverr or
Right.
having a ghostwriter. By the way, you got some awesome pictures
Whew.
on your website and on your book.
Thank you.
You remind me of Jada Pinkett Smith.
Well, I'll take that. She's
Yeah,
awesome.
and I was trying to figure out who you look like in the in the,
Yes.
in the promo pictures, but I was like, I think it's this, but I just had like 3 or 4 hours to think about it. But
She's
um,
gorgeous. I'll take that.
well, definitely, she used to play in a heavy metal band, eh?
Yes, she did.
Wicked
Yes,
Wisdom, and really wish I had a chance to see them because
right,
obviously I wasn't a big fan, but I'm a fan of her.
right, right.
You can go over to Ruth's. Um, a what's your first name? It's A Ruth
Hey,
Proctor.
Ruth Proctor.
Yeah,
Yes,
A Ruth Proctor
yes,
com. You
yes,
check her out. Order this book. It's called "I Survived and You Can Too."
yes,
I guess it's a story about perseverance and
yes.
and and finding yourself and pushing forward. I always say that. I heard Larry King say that if you wake up every day and say it's going to be a good day,
Right,
it's going to be a good day. You're forcing yourself to have a positive day.
right.
I learned a few days ago that, well, it just kind of came up again for me.
Mhm.
Um, I heard someone say, if once something goes negative for somebody's attitude and you're having a good day, just walk away. Just turn
Wow.
your back and walk away. Because if you're having
Exactly.
a great day, I mean, I was having an amazing day, and once somebody sours it for you, it just ruins everything, right?
Mhm.
Um, because it's all about energy, and
Yep,
we've talked about it during the show, the energy
yep,
feel and
yep.
pushing forward and finding your goals. How do you visualize Um, how do you visualize your career going forward after this?
Whew, it's definitely been a roller coaster in a positive way. I would definitely say I launched the book in December of 2020, and I mean it's been just 3 months, not even 3 months. The 20th will be 3 months, and it's been amazing. Interviews, public speaking, conferences. Of course, COVID makes that very challenging because I'm having to do everything on Zoom or on StreamYard or on the computer. But it's been amazing. The outpour has been amazing. The support has been amazing. So I see me doing more public speaking. I have a workbook coming that can help children, adults, and teenagers that just, works through different survival tips. In the book, it's a survival tips at the end of every chapter based on what I was dealing with. And so those survival tips now will be a part of a workbook that will help people be able to work through different things and different interventions to deal with things that they might have dealt with similar to me or the same as me. And that way they can continue to expound on that. And a journal is coming as well. So those things will help, other people. So if you don't resonate anything with the book, the workbook will help you as well. So I think that is, the focus, and definitely doing some online courses for survival as well.
I really enjoy how you're into promoting self well-being
Yeah.
and pushing forward and helping others as well. I know many teenagers need it.
Yeah.
People are just looking for that inspiration right now, and I think you've come at the right time because we're ramping up the COVID thing.
Yes.
Not really sure what's going on, but I think a good read is definitely in store for a lot of people.
Thank you.
People can find your book at ruthproctor.com. By the way,
Yes.
It sounds like you're a doctor. Are you a doctor?
Almost. I got my master's. That's the next thing.
That's the next thing. That's where you visualize yourself. I was going to ask that to you before. It's like, do you visualize yourself being a doctor? Because, but yeah, it's such a cool topic to tell people from your own personal experience. Like, you're not walking into a class to talk to anyone on stuff that you just learned like 2 weeks ago. You're talking from the heart, and you've cried over this. You've crammed your time. You've prioritized other things. Because you obviously care about your family, and it's very hard to be a single mother or be that entrepreneur right now who's starting out. And this is totally inspiring. It made my day, honestly.
Thank you.
Despite how freaking tired I am, and this is the best thing for me because, and I think it is for a lot of people, because people, like I said, are looking for that pick me up. They're looking for that hopeful way to survive. There are people out there who've gone through the domestic violence, a lot of sexual violence as well, infidelity, who are looking. They're in the bottom of the pit and they're looking up,
right?
And they've got to learn how to develop, the tenacity like you, and perseverance, and the good heart, and that's where it all starts. I feel like I'm a doctor, but I'm really not.
You're a doctor of Meet Me for Coffee podcast.
Yeah. Well, how do you take your coffee?
Exactly. But it's definitely been like 15 years of being an entrepreneur, 16 years of being an entrepreneur. I had businesses that failed. I had businesses that were successful, and I just continued to expound on that. And no matter how many doors were shut in my face, I was like, it's okay. I'm gonna go behind back. We're gonna go ask somebody else. And I just never let nobody stop me, no matter what support I did not have, because I pretty much didn't have a lot of support growing up. I had to just pretty much just continue to put one foot in front of the other, and eventually that becomes easy. But eventually, from walking, you begin to run, and you learn, over time. But I have my, my moments, and, I cope as much as possible. But I remember that I have 2 little girls that are dependent on me every day, and I have to continue to push forward. And that's like what my motivation is every day.
Well, there she is, ruthproctor.com. You can head on over there. It's not the Canadian A as in EH, it's A as in the letter A, ruthproctor.com. You can pick up a book. I Survived, You Can Too. It's available on Amazon as well, right?
Yes. And you just click on books and then type in A Ruth Proctor and it'll pop right up.
Thank you so much for being on Meet Me for Coffee. It's been an awesome episode, and I hope that people find some inspiration and head on over to your page to pick up the book, because I think I will too.
Thank you so much, George. I appreciate you, and I think your platform is awesome. You're doing amazing things, and keep doing your thing and supporting your family.
Thank you.